Hello everyone. This is Stack Coding. I want to show you guys a few things on loops. So what I want to do for you is a for loop, a while loop, and a do while loop. So the purpose of using loops in C programming or any other programming languages is to have something execute repetitively for a specific number of times or infinity. So there are basically three types of loops. There's a while loop, there's a for loop, and there's a do while loop. And all these loops have specific differences that differentiate them from the other two. So I want to start with the for loop. So I'm sure by now, or in the later videos, I think I showed you how to declare variables and what variable declarations are, and by now I think you should be familiar with what data types are. So I want to work with a loop that will output my name maybe 4 times. Okay, so that's going to be a for loop. And so inside the for loop, we do all these 3 things. Inside the for loop, we do initialization of a variable, we give a condition, and we also do the increment or decrement. So I declared my variables x and y, so I want to use any of those 2 variables inside my for loops parenthesis or conditional brackets. So I decided to use an x. So I want to have a program that is going to output my name 10 times or 4 times or 3, or it can be anything. So I'm saying for if x is initialized to a 0, so the initial value of x here is going to be a 0. We terminate. So inside the for loop, after each statement, you have to terminate, except for the last statement. So we are saying that where x is equal to 0, or where x has a 0 value, and that x is less than 6. So I want a program that is going to output my name 6 times. Whenever that x is less than a 6, okay, we are going to add a 1 to that x. So this is a loop body. So we have a loop, it is called a for loop, and inside that loop what we are doing is we are initializing a variable which we have declared up here. So we initialize it here, and you give a condition. We are saying where that x is less than 6, you can call it anything. You can say where that x is less than a 20. Whenever the x is less than a 20, we are going to add a 1 to the x. So initially we have a 0, that is x is equal to 0. Okay, so initially we are saying x is equal to 0. Whenever that x is less than our 20, that we have over here, whenever the x is less than a 20, the loop will keep on doing what? Will keep on adding 1x, you get. So that's it simply. So I want a loop that is going to output my name 20 times. So I'm saying printf, and they are outputting my name only. So I wanted to start with something small, so that you can know what it actually is. So I can run this for you, and we'll see what kind of output it actually gives you. So you should be knowing that in the for loop we are having initialization, a condition, and an increment statement. Then in its body, inside these brace brackets, we have this and this. Inside those brace brackets, what we have is the statements that will be executed for as long as the condition in this parenthesis is true. So for as long as the condition in the parenthesis is true, this body is going to be executed. So for as long as our x is less than a 20, this word stack is going to be output. So I wanted to output that name several times for as long as it is less than for as long as it is less than that. So what is the output we have here? So this is the output we have. Okay, we have stacks. So those are 20 times. Okay, those are 20 times. So this shall be the output basically. So the other loop is the other loop I can give you is a for loop. I mean a while loop, which is the equivalent of what I've done up there. So we are saying that while, so it also has a conditional body or conditional brackets. Each loop has conditional brackets. So we are saying that while, inside the while loop, what makes a while loop different from a for loop is that inside the while loop's parenthesis or boolean conditional brackets, we only put there a condition. We don't put there this initialization and this increment. Initialization and increment are done at a programmer's, it is a programmer's burden. You have to find where to put them in your program. So what we shall have is, what we are going to have here is only a condition, and we are going to say that let me make this the y that I declared up here. So I'm saying that whenever that y is less than 5, that's the condition I'm having. Whenever that y is less than 5, I want this program to keep on whenever the y is less than 5, I want this program to keep on printing for me this word the way it is, but each word should be on a different line. That's why I'm putting a /n there. So I also have to initialize this to 0. So this is what I'm saying is, in a while loop boolean or in a while loop boolean, call them boolean brackets, these parentheses here, we only put there a condition. Initialization, like we had here in a for loop, is done outside the while loop. So I have a y, which y I didn't initialize before. So I initialize it up here and say where y is equal to 0, come in my brackets of the while loop and say where that y is less than a 5, keep on outputting for me this. Then the increment will come after the statement that has to be executed has been executed. So whenever that y is less than a 5, the compiler is going to go on and output for me a what? An output for me the word beast, like that. So I also want to run this for you, and you see its output. I also want to run it for you, and you see its output. So basically, what makes the while loop different from the for loop is that for a while loop we have a condition only in the parenthesis. We don't have this increment, we don't have this initialization and this increment. All we have is a condition. So we are saying that where that condition is true, keep on giving us this statement beast, and whenever the condition is not yet met, keep on going to the what? To the next iteration. Keep on adding one beast. So if we run this, we expect the program to output for us the word beast, this beast here, 5 times. Why? Because in my condition I have a y is less than 5, but I also initialized this y to be to a 0. Had I initialized the y to a 1, it would output for me 4 beast words. If I had initialized it to a 2, it would output for me 3 beast words. So you have to take note. You have to take in note of those things. So next I'm going to show you. I'm going to be showing you the difference between a while loop and a do while loop. Like I had said, I also have to show you what a do while loop is and how it works. So you have to put a difference between all these loops, because each loop has its own structure and each loop works differently. So let me first do for you an example of a do while loop, then I will explain for you how it actually works and how it is different from all the other loops. So my intention was to first give you a few codes of all, and then explain for you the difference between all of them. So I want to have the same thing here. Okay, so I want to so inside the do while loop why we call it a do while is it will first do, the way it also sounds is actually direct. So it will first do for you something before it checks for the condition inside the while loop. So this is how it actually looks like, and I know you guys are already familiar with it. So inside each body, this is each body, inside this parenthesis, inside this curly brackets, that's the body of the while loop. So it will first output for you the statements inside that body before it checks for this condition. If this condition is true, the loop is going to go back and iterate and still output for you the statements in the body, and then it does what? And then it again checks for the condition. So we are saying that so I want this loop maybe output for me courses. Yeah, I want it to output for me that word courses, but I wanted to put each word courses on a different line. Okay. Yeah, you should be keen when you're writing this. So I wanted to output for me that word 10 times. Okay, if I wanted to output 9 times, then I will have to initialize this y to a 1, and I hope you're not getting lost. But let me keep it at a 0, because all I want is a do while loop that will output for me the word courses 10 times. So this is it. The do while loop will first execute for you this body. Okay, so it will first execute for you this body. After executing for you this body, it will then check for this condition here inside the while word. If this condition is true, yes, we have output courses the first time, but that first time is less than the 10 times that we want. It will still go back and add for you a 1 word courses. If still the 2 we have are less than a 10, it will still go back and output for you 1 courses. If still the 3 we have are less than this 10, it will go back and add 1 word courses. And I hope you're getting this. So what makes this do while loop different from the while loop is, while or whereas the while loop first checks for the condition before it outputs for you the statement, the do while loop will first give you the statement before it checks for the condition. In the while loop, if this condition is false, these statements will not execute. Here we shall first, in the do while loop, we shall first give you the statement and check for the condition. If the condition is false, the do while loop will not execute again. But if the condition is true, it will go back and output for you and again check for the condition. If it's true, if it is still true, it will go back and execute for you. So basically that's it. And if you master this, then you will definitely enjoy. So I want to output for you. So the first thing I showed you was a for loop, and we said that inside the for loop we are doing initialization. We give a condition, and we do what? We increment. You can also decrement anything of your choice. Then I went to a while loop, which I've explained for you, and we also have a do while loop. This do while loop, and I've also tried to explain it for you well. So I want to also run for you this, and you see its output, how it's going to work. So the do while loop has for me the word courses. Okay, we saw for the first loop output stack. We saw the beast from the while loop. Now we want to see, will the do while loop execute for us the courses word that we want. So we can run this and we see. So yeah, this is it, and I hope you are able to see this well. Yeah, so we are saying the for loop that we had up was outputting for us stack, and this is stack. Then we had the while loop that was outputting for us beast, and then we had courses, the word courses inside the do while loop. And I told you that what did I tell you? I told you that for a do while loop, we'll first check for the condition before it executes. To first check for the condition before it executes anything for you. So let me change something here and we see. Let me change something here so that we can see. Yeah, so basically that's it. And you can go on practicing these any number of times that you want. You can practice it any number of times that you want. So it is interesting. So that was it for loops. Don't miss out on the next videos on if conditions and switches and functions will also be available for you anytime.